Hello everyone, I'm Victoria and welcome to my Instant Grammar Help video tutorials. Today we're going to talk about causative verbs. So what are causatives? Let's look at this sentence. I tidy my flat every Saturday. Okay, that means that I do it by myself, unfortunately. But if you hear that I have my flat tidied every Saturday, or I get my flat tidied every Saturday, so what's the difference between this sentence and the first one? The difference is that somebody will come and tidy or clean my flat because I'm paying for a service. It's a paid service. So we use causative structures and forms when we speak about something that we arrange to be done for us. Okay, so this is in general, but we will talk about different aspects and different details in a moment. In this video, I will be talking about such structures as have or get something done, have somebody do something, get somebody to do something, make somebody do something, and finally, let somebody do something. So this is our plan for today. Let's start with have and get something done. This is a widely used causative structure. Look at this sentence. Alice has her car washed weekly. What does it mean? Does it mean that Alice does it by herself? No, that tells me that she pays someone for this service, right? So have plus object plus past participle. This is the causative structure with the verb have. Look at this sentence. Brian had his eyes tested yesterday. You can see in this sentence we have had instead of have because I'm speaking about yesterday. So I can change the verb have in different tenses depending on my needs. But also I can substitute have and use get or got in this case. It's more popular in informal English, but people use it here and there all the time. So when to use causatives? We use causatives when we arrange something to be done, as you remember. Yes, so I have my flat tidied every Saturday. Somebody will come and clean my flat, or I'm having my hair done tomorrow because apparently I'm not doing it by myself, so my hairdresser will do it. So I have to arrange it. But sometimes we do not arrange something, but it happens. And in this case, it's also appropriate to use causatives. And I'll show you in a moment some examples when we talk about something unplanned, and usually it's something unexpected or even unpleasant. We can also use these have or get something done. Like in this example, he had his passport stolen. Well, obviously, he didn't arrange that. Or he got his passport stolen. Yes, so both structures are correct and you can use them. However, we haven't arranged that. Or they had the project rejected, or they got the project rejected. It's unpleasant, it's unexpected and unplanned. So just keep in mind, we use causatives when we arrange something to be done, or even if it's not arranged and something happened, we can also use it. And usually this is an unexpected, unpleasant situation. As I mentioned before, we use causatives in different tenses. As you can see here, I highlighted different tenses and we change have verb or get verb. So for more details, you should watch the video and find a useful table that I prepared for you. As you can see, we can use causatives in different tenses and also with modal verbs. I might have my flat tidied because maybe I'm not sure if I'm at home that time. Now let's talk about a different structure. Have somebody do something. What does that mean? It actually means that we ask somebody or even persuade, convince to do something. Okay, this sentence is demonstrating how we can use this structure. I'm having the interior designer arrange my new flat. You see the structure have the interior designer, somebody, and arrange the verb. This is a bare infinitive without to. So I'm having the interior designer arrange my new flat. What does it mean? It means that I'm going to ask this person to help me with my new flat, and also I'm going to pay in this case, but it doesn't have to be a paid service, not always, because if we talk about friends, for example, I'm having my brother help me with my project. I'm not going to pay him, but I'm asking him for help. It's considered to be more common in American English. However, people use it everywhere and it's common. Now, let's look at some different sentence. I finally had him agree to a new plan. So in this case, it's not about asking. If you read the sentence, you feel that this is something different. And it means that I managed to persuade him. So I convinced him to agree to this new plan. So these are two situations when we use have somebody do something. And there is another structure, which is a synonymic one, get somebody to do something. The difference is you can notice that we use here the full infinitive, to do, infinitive with to. And it means the same as have. Ask, persuade, or convince somebody to do something for us. As in this sentence, we got our friend to try that new restaurant. It means we convinced our friend to try that new restaurant. Yes? So again, I just want you to remember that if you use get, you should use a full infinitive. Get somebody to do something. Okay. And it's more common in British English, but you can use both forms and people will understand you. Okay, now it's practice time, and I'd like you to use these structures. And here is the first sentence. A chef is preparing a festive dinner for us. And in this case, we have to use the causative structure, have something done. And the beginning is we are, because it's present continuous, chef is preparing, yes? So let's think about it and create a sentence. Okay, I hope you have this one. We are having a festive dinner prepared for us. You can see that I'm using we are having because the original sentence is in present continuous and it's happening right now. So I should use present continuous, and then something is a festive dinner, and then done, prepared for us. It's past participle. Okay, let's move on. Chris asks his sister to help with his homework. So we have to use have somebody do something in this case. Okay, so Chris has his sister help him with his homework. It means that he asks her to help him. Yes, you remember, have somebody do something. Okay, and let's have something else. A mechanic fixed his car. And in this case, I'd like you to use the structure, get somebody to do something. All right, and here is the sentence. He got a mechanic to fix his car. In this case, I'm using the past simple because the original sentence, the active sentence here is a mechanic fixed his car is in the past simple tense. Okay, as a promise, here is this wonderful table that can help you to summarize all your knowledge. And you can see here the active voice in different tenses, as well as causative forms with examples. All right, so I hope it will be very useful. And if you want, you can just stop the video, take a screenshot, and save it on your devices. All right, So let's move on and talk about make somebody do something and let somebody do something. We'll start with make somebody do something. What does it mean? It means to force, right? But it could have different contexts. And what does it mean to force? So, well, look at this sentence. He made the child go to bed by carrying him upstairs. So this is the little kid who probably didn't want to go to bed and he was reluctant. So that's why his father carried him upstairs. So he forced him physically, let's say, yes, to go to bed. And that's when we can use it. So make somebody do something. When we talk about forcing someone to do something, and it's a physical action, but not always. Look at this sentence. She made her friend apologize after the argument. Okay, in this case, it's emotional pressure. Again, she forced her friend to apologize, but this is a different kind of force, right? Emotional pressure. So in this case, it's also appropriate to use causative forms. Or let's look at something else. The teacher made the students complete their homework before the weekend. What kind of pressure is that? It's kind of neutral because the teacher, it's a part of her duties, right? And she forced kind of her students to complete their homework before the weekend because there was a deadline. So you can see that we use this causative structure, make somebody do something, when we force somebody to do something, and it could be different situation. It could be physical, it could be emotional, or it could be even a neutral situation. Okay. Now, I'd like to mention something also about the passive form with the same structure, to be made to do something. Why? I will explain in a moment. Let's look at this sentence. The teacher made the students attend extra classes to improve their test scores. Remember, I talked about this, make somebody do, made the students attend. This is the causative structure. But sometimes, and I'll show you in a moment, we can use this in passive form. The students, yes, in this case, we will use the students. Our object in this case will be the subject. Were made, and this is where it's different. Were made to attend. You can see that we should use infinitive with to. The students were made to attend extra classes to improve their test scores. So these are kind of two passive-like sentences because causative forms are kind of passive-like forms, but they're called causative because they have different structure. However, if you have to use this structure, make somebody do something in the passive form, you should remember, in this case, we use to do, to be made to do something. Okay, so this is quite essential because sometimes people automatically use it, like students were made attend extra classes. I heard it. However, it's incorrect just because this is a different structure. Please keep in mind. Here is our to attend. Okay, and finally, we are at the last point of today's lesson. We will be talking about let somebody do something. What does it mean? It means to allow, and it's widely used everywhere. For instance, I usually let my friend choose the movie. I don't mind. I mean, she can choose it, right? So I allow, I give her permission to choose the movie. Or Jenny's mom lets her drive her car. So mom gives her a permission to drive a car. Yes, but there is one important aspect here as well. Remember, I talked about the passive form with make, and you should remember, we do not use the verb let in the passive form. No, instead, you should use to be allowed to do something. Yes, let's look at this sentence. They let us check in earlier Or in the passive form, you should say, we were allowed to check in earlier. So we were let, it's incorrect. We don't use it. Just remember this. I hope this video was useful and you learned a lot about causatives and about different structures, and you will be using them correctly. And if you really like this video, you just like it, subscribe to my channel, and share the video so that more people can learn about causative forms and many other aspects of the English language. So thank you and stay tuned. Bye bye.